So, we had a presidential debate in Minecraft and it got kinda crazy. Also, before we start, only a small percentage of people that watch are actually subscribed, so please do consider subscribing. It's free and you can always unsubscribe later. Now, let's continue with the debate.
All right, today we are here for the presidential debate between Bright and Techno. First coming in, we have the vice presidents running, Miss Megan and Nathan. All right, now coming in, we'll have one of our runners, Bright. Ma'am. There you go. And finally coming in, we have our other candidate, Techno. Techno? Techno?
Hold on, we're coming.
You're setting the mood so well. Okay. And that reached the start of our first presidential debate. I'll start off with questions. First one, we're going to have Bright answer first. Techno will follow. Anyone from the audience can go ahead and ask for them to further deepen their answers after they are done with their initial response. First, I'm going to ask, what are your ideas on the Colosseum that many people want to be built?
I believe that the Colosseum should be based off of the original Roman Colosseum. So one of the main things that they had there was they would fill up the Colosseum with water so they could have boat wars, which I think would be really cool for us to have. And then they would make terrains and have people fight animals. So I think that both of those would be good ideas to add to our Colosseum once it is built.
Understood. Techno, what would you like to do with this idea?
I agree on that. The Colosseum should be just like the Roman one, but boat wars, it could be possible. It would be very fun, and of course, hand-to-hand combat wars, different types of not wars. I'm sorry, different fighting types. Like you can have armor, you can have like no armor, just punching, different enchantments on weapons and stuff. And I don't know about the animals thing because there's only a few animals that are very aggressive, just like polar bears and just like polar bears. And we don't want to kill polar bears because of climate and global warming and polar bears. Well, we need polar bears in our world, and we can't be killing
polar bears
just for fun. Thank you.
And building off of that, what are the candidates' opinions on global warming and polar bears specifically?
Polar bears are great. They were not what I was talking about when I said fighting animals. I think honestly, the Minecraft world, we should do as much as we can to keep it from experiencing global warming. So using safe renewable resources and protecting the polar ice caps.
Understood. Techno?
Global warming is, of course, a big issue in our world, but it looks like we are running on clean and renewable energy. We've previously been using coal, but we will change to blaze rods, which we have established, which is renewable and it's actually cleaner than coal. So global warming will not be a problem.
Understood. Would anyone in the audience like to elaborate on their answers to any of these questions?
How do you plan on getting these blaze rods that you speak of?
We have strong people that will be sent to the Nether. Do
As
great honors, and they can just kill them with looting 3, which will be less killing of blazes and more blaze rods. And since it's a spawner, it's renewable.
Yeah, so overall more safe.
And would this be something as almost an army setup? Because you'd be sending specific people in. What would the qualifications be?
We have not thought about building an army yet because it doesn't seem like we really need it right now. We could just have one or two people just go in and get some. It's not a very dangerous place to be with the blazes since they will have enchant and netherite armor, and of course we will not put any people at risk of death.
And for anyone in the audience currently, if you would like to elaborate on a question, please specify which candidate you are going to ask, just to make it easier. So is that everything for that question?
Bright.
Can I rebuttal please, to Techno? Techno, I find it very funny that you are saying that you don't want to risk any human lives when you threaten people their lives constantly in this server.
Is there proof for that?
I mean,
Yes,
yes. Does
there's lots
anyone
of
want to come
proof.
forward and
Thank
say
you.
that Techno has
Proof.
tried to kill them?
Right.
Calm down.
I have proof.
Thank you.
Well, can the other party like say something? Like the audience has to have proof, you know? Like, of course she'll back you up because she's your vice president.
Okay. Would anyone
Does
in the
anyone-
audience? Okay, no. If anyone in the audience has been threatened by Techno, please put the little pointing up arrow for what Watt has said.
Also, people in the VC, you can unmute yourself and say if you've been threatened by Techno.
This is all hearsay.
All right.
She has
May I continue
screenshots
on
of
to the next question?
Yes.
Yes. Also, wait. Wad said that I did threaten him, and you can unmute Wad. When was that? Take your time.
I have I have a question. I have a question for Bright on the global warming.
Yes.
How do you plan to reduce global warming and climate change by how do you plan to reduce it?
Well, one of the main things that creates global warming is burning coal, which we are now working on getting rid of. We're using blaze rods instead. Also, in the Minecraft world, having a lot of animals would be a problem. So limiting the amount of animals that we have or need, because mass producing things like meat is not it's not sustainable and is dangerous to the environment.
Can I elaborate on that?
Yeah.
How is having animals bad for global warming?
Because animals like cows create greenhouse gases. Thank you.
Moving on from this subject, I'm going to start. with
I have a question.
Wait, no.
I have a question.
Hey, you cannot ask questions yet.
You cannot ask questions. I'm moving on to the next question. You. Okay. For both parties, why did you choose the banners and symbols you have for each of your parties?
Who do you want to answer first?
We're gonna start with Pride every time.
Okay, sweet. I chose my banner because I love Fernando with all my heart and would do anything to protect him.
Understood. Techno.
I choose me because I'm great.
Understood. Shut up, Mom. All right. Next question. What will you do if you end up losing this election?
I would accept the results of the election and start doing community work.
Techno?
Yes.
Would you like to further elaborate on that?
No.
Understood. Moving on. What type of society are you looking to run? Right?
I'm looking to run a very peaceful and equal society. I don't think anyone should be working super hard. That is why if I become president, I would be working to collect resources for anything that we choose to build. And not just be governing all of you guys, but shipping them.
Isn't that socialism or communism?
Hey, we didn't say you can
No.
ask questions.
Do you have a problem with
No.
communism?
Nathan,
I
sir.
do not.
Okay.
Techno?
That did sound like communism, but we'll probably have democracy. Which
So you're looking to run a democracy?
Probably. Because everybody has different values. Not everybody is equal, and I don't mean that in a bad way, because of course Bacon here. Look at him. He's a gorgeous man. Look at Tree
He's
over there.
sexy.
Gorgeous man. He doesn't
Also
look
the
sexy, okay, because he has a sweater on. And everybody will have their own different jobs, but communism has its flaws, and that's why we will be a democracy like a lot of other countries which are very successful.
Can I rebuttal, please?
Yes, you may.
Okay, so I would like to say that I'm not saying everyone will do all the like amount of not everyone will be doing the same job. Everyone has different things that they enjoy. For example, Maya likes farming. I'm not gonna force Maya to go out and strip mine if she doesn't want to, because she enjoys farming.
So you'll be taking into account the likes and dislikes of your people.
Of course, I wouldn't want to force someone to do hard labor that they don't enjoy at all.
And Techno, what are your thoughts on this? Sit your ass down.
On what? Can you repeat the question?
What are your thoughts on people having a say in the jobs they do in our community?
Oh, of course, that's democracy. I completely agree. If someone is passionate about pie like you, of course they can have a pie shop. If someone is passionate about rockets, they can have a rocket shop. You can make any business you would like.
All right, I enjoyed the reference to the pie place. Would anyone in the audience like to elaborate?
I have a question.
Go ahead, MPRJ.
Is this how you plan on supporting the economy?
Who are you asking that to? Specify, please.
To Techno.
Of course, that is the way economy will work, and it's gonna be a very well-built economy because of that.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Are we going to have a standard system of currency
And this
for
is
our
for
economy?
tenants?
No.
Techno? Okay.
Of course we will. We have not decided what we will use. We can ask people that. Everybody can maybe vote. We could hold a vote on maybe we could use diamonds or any currency everyone would like. We could even use bread. As many people might know of the bread bank. So we will have a currency, but it has not been established yet. We will work on that.
I completely agree with Techno's take on this. We have not established a currency that we think would be the best. They all have very different uses, but we will decide that if we win.
So
And
you're
there will be
saying
a vote for it.
for your currencies, you'd be choosing currency that would be proportional to the situation of payment?
I think we would have to decide that as a community together and hold multiple different votes.
Actually, I kind of have something else to say. The bread thing. It's not gonna happen because money. We can't have it as a renewable source. And as diamonds or gold or other minerals or stones, we could have those are non-renewable. So people could just not make their own money, and then we would have to actually use the money. So diamonds or gold seem like a very likely thing to be used as currency.
All right. Would that be all for that question? Or then moving on?
That is all.
But gold is not renewable with Piglin Farms.
Gold is renewable.
It is renewable. with Piglin
I
Farms.
will-
He's saying is gold not renewable? It's
Are you saying
a weird way to
I
phrase
have a
it.
question.
Rude, shut up.
No, you should.
Oh, challenging the moderator, are you?
But you guys do know about gold farms, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That make
Not
100 gold blocks per hour.
If he speaks again, sir, remute him.
Wow. Is this where my first?
Yeah, that's pretty
Amendment
much what
rights?
Wad was saying. He just phrased it weird.
Oh.
I think that you should let them speak after every question if they would have a
You-
first.
We don't want more than one person speaking over one another.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
I
someone
thought you
else was
said the
speaking.
audience could ask questions.
The audience can ask questions.
I would like to ask a question to both Bright and Techno.
Okay, what would that be?
I forgot what
You
it
dumb
was.
shit.
I
Okay,
knew what it was.
Shut up. Can we move on from this now then? Move on to our next question. All right, I'm taking that as a yes. Okay, next question. This would be dog 1, 2, or 3.
For me, I think dog 2.
Dog 2. Okay.
The
Um,
hunt is on.
Dog 3, and this is because since they have look at it, that's dog 3. That's what we don't want. So dog 1, 2, and 3 have been labeled in a specific order, and most likely dog number 1 is the most. I don't want to say loved because everybody should be loved equally, but maybe the most important in a way. And the second is named second, maybe because it was the order that you got them. And since the first one was your first dog, of course, it is probably more important to you than the third one. So I would pick dog number.
While the moderator goes out and kills the person that murdered the dog, I think that this was.
That's
We
How's
don't
everyone's
really
day
we don't
going?
really know what's happening, Lod, or I don't really have any more information on that question. It could be because of any past
What did
things
you
Does
that have
anyone want any
happened.
food? Do we want to like take a brief recess while we take care
Can
of
we
this?
take a Can we have a commercial break?
Commercial
Yeah.
break. This is mine now. Okay, cool. Next question. All right. What policies will you be implying as president? Let's start with Techno this time. Where the shit did Bright go? Oh, there she is.
I am back.
Okay, Techno, let's start with you on this one.
Can you repeat it again?
What policies will you be implying as president?
How about we let the other candidate come back?
All right. We'll wait for Bright to relog.
Okay.
I need one more bubble.
You know what? How about Bright goes first on this question?
No, I would like you to go first, please.
No, I would
We
like
should be
you to
going
go.
back and forth for
Ladies
who answers first.
Yeah, I answered first last time.
No, you didn't.
Last question was dog.
Oh yeah, huh? Oh shit. Ain't no customer. We have not established any policies, but we are in the works of them, and before they are set to. Yes, correct. Good job. All right. Yes.
Right.
I believe we will be setting out some policies to protect the people that we will be serving. So protecting people from having their house griefed and from stealing and just overall being murdered. I feel like those are some good policies for us to put in place. Other than that, we are still working on them.
You should like tell your vice president about that because she just punched an audience member.
You're the one who killed me. I lost all my diamond armor.
Are you eating?
Yeah, Techno, remember when you killed her by trapping
In
her
my
mother?
defense, I was not on the server for the past 20 minutes.
In your defense, you knew where she logged off.
Next question.
I believe
And
that
then-
we will be putting in policies to protect people from getting murdered for small crimes.
But that's not
Small.
That is.
I believe that this is a small crime.
I believe that.
Okay, everybody has their own opinion.
I
Because it was Maya, wasn't this bell originally yours?
No. Okay, I can elaborate on this. The bell was originally from the village that I found, making it mine originally. But then I placed it next to the door, and myself labeled it the Bell of Techno.
So when did this law get put in place that no one could ring the techno bell? And was
This law-
everyone on the server notified of this rule?
It was notified, which is why we created the Bell of Commodity, which is a bell that everyone can collectively ring without being punished.
Also, if you are killed because of the techno bell, we would not take your stuff, but it is her fault that she logged out.
I do not believe it is her fault, and no one deserves to have hours of work burnt because they rung
Hours.
a bell.
I wouldn't say hours.
Wasn't all your stuff enchanted, Morgan?
Yeah, enchanted
Megan?
diamond.
Enchanted diamond gear. I don't have anything to add.
All right,
What?
next
I
question.
have a question. This one's to Bright. Bright, will you be respecting past traditions such as the Techno Bell, the Pie Store, and Fernando?
Yes, I will. If anyone has any reason to complain about them, you can come to me. But if you want to keep the laws in place that you've had for the commodity, I will respect that.
All right.
However, I will put up some kind of notification so that people know if there are new people in town. Hey, this is illegal. Don't get yourself murdered.
Would this resemble that of a wall of rules on, let's say, just a game or a certain map?
This could be a wall of rules, just on a board or in some kind of book so that people can join and know what to do, what is allowed and what isn't.
All right. Would anyone like to further elaborate?
I have a question for both candidates.
Go ahead.
What are you going to do about unemployment?
That is a good question.
I will answer first. I
Did you not
think
answer first on the last question?
You can answer
Or
first if
do
you
I
would
have
like.
bad memory loss? I do not, because I'm a good candidate. I'm smart.
Mhm.
Okay, so unemployment rates. There will be plenty of businesses in our country, and those businesses can employ as many people as they want, and people can apply for jobs, or they can apply in whichever way that business has established. And they can start their own business. They can do anything they want to make a living out of their life and work.
Yes, I completely agree. I think we will have a surplus of jobs for people, especially in the beginning when we have to build the Coliseum and the White House and collect all of the resources for that. I do not think that unemployment will be a problem because we still have to provide food for everyone and collect resources and build. And there are plenty of other jobs. I don't think that there will be anyone who's unemployed, and if you are, I will allow you to come to the White House and find a job.
Okay. Following this up, I've been informed that Wad has some questions, so if you would like to type those in chat or say them verbally.
I will unmute for this. My first question. There has been a thief running about, and what are your policies? How are you going to, if you are elected president, how are you going to catch this thief?
We'll start with Techno.
Are you sure? Because I went first on last question. I'd be happy for Brad to go first. Unless she wants me to go first, and I'll be fine with going.
Brant went first for the first couple questions. We'll have you go first, and then we'll continue into a back and forth. You do?
Wait, what? So who's answering?
I will just listen to whatever who Maya says should go first.
You know, I'll go first. Okay, Wad. So, once our country gets established, there will be private investigators that you can hire, or depending on what kind of business they are running. Hold on, give me a second. Sorry. Okay. There will be private investigators that will take care of your case, and you will tell them every detail, and they'll do their best to go around and find out who your thief is.
Following up with a question from me, I'm sorry, Wad, you can continue after this. But as other crimes are happening, such as slaughtering the dogs of other players, what would the punishment for this be in this case? I feel like our Coliseum would be quite adequate for such a situation, but what, as a candidate for president, do you think would be good? Techno, Bright, either of you can answer. We can go with Bright first.
I believe Techno answered by pulling out his sword, but I believe that certain crimes, such as things that are petty, should be responded with the exact same thing. So, like, if someone is continuously punching them, we'll hire someone to go and punch the person that was punching, like stuff like that. If it was a bigger crime,
We will provide help, of course. We're not communism, so we can't do everything for the people. But we will provide help to get people ender chests so they can keep their valuables inside, and nobody will be able to steal them.
All right. May I ask my next question?
Can I elaborate on something?
Mhm.
How will these rules and ideas affect our commodity?
This is for techno, right?
This is for both of our
Okay.
candidates.
The ideas of not letting people steal or like hunting people that
Punishment. On your ideas for punishments, how do you think this would
Oh.
affect our commodity as a whole? Whether it is instilling fear or instilling a source of justice, or idea of justice.
I don't like the idea of anyone being afraid of your president. So I believe that punishments I believe that instead of this instilling fear in the people, it should give them a sense of peace that they will not be harmed and anything bad that happens to them will have justice.
Okay, techno.
Can you repeat the question? She talked a lot.
How do you think the punishments you would create around this stealing or these unlawful actions would affect our commodity?
Well, first of all, it will not be a commodity anymore. But of course, we will probably establish a judge and a court system. And once we find someone accused, and we find out that they have stolen or done the crime which they're accused of, it will go to court, and a judge will decide their fate along with Bacon. What are the dudes on the side of the court? Like the people?
That's the jury.
I asked Bacon.
Jury.
Thank you, Bacon. There will be a jury that will also decide the criminal's fate.
How will this judge be decided?
We
Me.
thought we
Me.
yeah, well, probably be Mayo
It would
because
probably be Mayo.
she's
I would like to say I would also have this kind of system, but that's not what the question was asking. It was asking what sense these new ways of bringing justice would give the people. So it was not like how you would bring around those feelings, but what the feelings would be.
All right. So would either party like to further elaborate, or can Wad continue with his questions if you have any more? Okay, I'll continue then.
Can I continue my questions then?
Yes, you may.
All right. I've been told that we are going to be moving base location once the president is elected. How will this move be executed?
May I go first since I came up with the original plan?
Sure.
So, after we kill the dragon, which will happen tomorrow, we will find the best place to start our civilization by asking everybody that is going to live in it where we should move. Some people have said about a desert, but researchers have said that savannas are a very good place to build stuff because it is very flat and the ground is more stable than a desert. And it is not as hot as a desert, and the climate is very nice there. So, depending on what people want, that's where we will move, and that's where we will begin building our country.
Wad, could you repeat the question, please?
I've been told that we are going to be moving. How will this move be executed?
Oh, how will it be executed? I'm pretty sure that we will make sure everyone has their most important items, and we will probably just move. I don't think that we would be taking up any buildings or anything. But I have heard that people found a savanna, so I'm sure that we would either move there or to some kind of plains biome where there's plenty of space for people to build.
All right. And then my last question. As there are many LGBTQ people on this world, how would these people be treated?
Equally, I don't think that there is really any reason for anything else to happen. I think that they should get just as much respect as anyone else, and that it shouldn't be something that determines like any kind of way that justice is brought to them. Like that doesn't have to do with what's happening. But if you want, like, they should just be treated like equals. I don't think that there's really any other way to answer that question.
I completely agree with the opposing candidate. Everybody should be treated equally, unless they have full netherite armor. Then you can interpret that however you want. And that is all I have to say for that.
Are you saying that if I, a gay non-binary person, were to get full netherite, that I would be at greater risk of being attacked?
Oh no, of course we will have people that will be enforcing the law, and we won't run around like killing in the streets and that. But of course, we think of everybody as equals, and of course that's why we have police and people to enforce the law, because people that have more power go after people that are weaker. And we're not saying that in a way like gay are weaker. We're saying that people regarding, let's say, armor, or they have slightly worse weapons than them and they can't fight them. Of course they might come after you, but that's why we're going to have police on the case for that, so it doesn't happen.
Okay.
I have a
So are
question
you
about
saying
you say we'll have a police system. First of all, how will police officers be chosen, and how will you ensure that it does not shut up? How will you ensure that it does not replicate situations of police brutality we have seen in other circumstances in real life?
Very carefully.
If one decides to live in a different dimension, how would that be handled in the community or commodity? So that's the first question. Techno, I'd like your answer first.
Of course. So we wanted to build civilization for everyone to live, and we don't want everyone split apart. Of course, you all are allowed to build in a different dimension, but of course we can't force you to live with us. But we do encourage you to build a house there and keep it as your main house, and maybe keep the other house in the dimension as a vacation house or something. Because as a community, we should all live together and be united.
All right. So the question I have for Watt: if you're gay and non-binary, who are you attracted to? It doesn't make sense.
I am
You're
I'm
gay no matter
AMAB, so I am still attracted to men, but I do not fall under the gender binary. And look, it's really new to me too, and I'm not entirely sure how to answer that question fully.
Wait, what are your pronouns, ma'am?
They, them.
Thank you. I was okay. Thank you for
Well,
specifying
thank you
that.
for
I was
elaborating.
also going to ask.
Yeah, see, one of the candidates I am sure will be very, very diligent in asking for pronouns and respecting people's gender identities. I have no idea what the other's gonna do, so
Can I answer your question about Dimensions Tree, or was that only for Techno?
Yeah, you can answer that.
Okay. I would encourage people to live with us, as that is the best way for us to help them and them to help us. For example, if someone moves to a different dimension and something gets stolen from them, that would be much harder for us to figure out. So I'd encourage them to live with us, but if they wanted to live in another dimension, I would make sure that that happened safely and respectfully to the other people that might be exploring that dimension. And yes, that is it.
All right, thank you.
okay, moving on from this. What's your question, Conrad?
Who do you have in mind for the police force?
Who do you have in mind for the police force? Is being asked by Brick.
Nobody yet, because I will not be. Actually, we don't know who's gonna be elected for we need someone that is honest and someone that, of course, has never committed a crime, and we will look into people's records before deciding that.
Okay. I like that. I'm going to go ahead and ask the next question. Let me see. What will you be doing to ensure that our commodity stays free, fair, and safe?
I think I'll be doing all of the things that I've mentioned previously, like make sure that there is a jury system and to hear everyone's side of every story and um have people there to just help out because we want to make sure that this is as safe as a place as you can be.
All right, Techno.
Police, they'll keep everyone safe. Thank you.
That's concerning. Okay.
And
Right.
also, everybody will be equipped with armor and weapons because we don't have a law against that. They have Second Amendment rights, and they can defend themselves against mobs. I'm sure people can do that themselves, but the police and security around the city will be established to keep mobs out and things that will cause harm to our citizens.
Techno, are you saying that your whoever you have in charge would be providing every single citizen with armor?
No, we're not communism. Everybody will
Okay.
work for and everything they get.
So if that is true, how can you ensure that every single citizen has armor?
There will be if people do not want to go mining on their own, there will be free iron armor given to people that do not have and iron weapons, but no more than that.
Okay, so you will be providing people with armor.
Yes.
Okay.
I have 2 questions. Okay. So this is for, both of them are for both Bright and Techno. So the first one is if once a president is elected, once we decided on the currency, are farms like allowed? Like, what are your opinions on like iron farms and gold farms? What are your opinions on those?
As we said, we need a currency that is non-renewable, and of course, farms would make it renewable. So it would pretty much be printing money, which is of course illegal, and they will go to court for that.
Yes, I completely agree with Techno on this. I don't think there's anything else I have to add.
But are diamonds renewable? Let me ask you that.
No.
No, I don't
So
believe
that
it.
will probably be the currency that we'll be using.
All right.
Okay.
Can I move on, or would the audience like to elaborate on anything that has been said?
I actually have a question for both candidates.
All right, go ahead.
So will public services such as XP farms, would you have to pay to use those, or would they be public for everybody?
I do believe it depends on the situation. For example, if we work together as a community to build a XP farm, then I think that it should be free, like free access. Anyone can go in there and do whatever, like collect XP. However, if we hire certain individuals to build an XP farm, I believe that people should have to pay to go in there, and those that payment would go to the people that built it.
I mostly agree with that, but like as Tree, I know that Tree was going to make an Enderman farm in the end, and since that will be built only by him, he has the option to charge people, or he doesn't, depending on whatever he wants, and he will not be judged or forced to let people use it.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. I would also like to say if we as a group decide that we want there to be some payment so that we can boost the economy, though I don't know why we would want to do that. We could decide it. But overall, I think that if we build something together as a community, there would not be any payment required.
All right, can I ask for someone to elaborate on this in a specific way? Let me pull up my question. Based off of this, which public services do you think will be most important?
Tech was answering first.
Food, 100%. Of course, it's going to be part of a business, so you will have to pay for your food, or you can go out and get your own food. But of course, we will have stores and businesses for things that people would like. And I'll add to that by saying that at the White House, we will have a place to request changes and to be added. And if you would like, you can write down what kinds of businesses and stores you want. And then it will be shared out to the public on a public board. And if people want to start a successful business, there's other people's suggestions will be highly valued for making our community and country a better place.
I completely agree. I think food is the most valuable resource. After that, I would say just materials in general, because we need materials to build things, and we can't have houses without materials. I would also like to say that the idea of having a suggestion box in the White House is very good. I don't know what kind of a democracy we would be without one. And yes.
It seems to me
Alright.
like you're really copying exactly what I say.
I feel like you've done the same thing.
No, I've changed at least my answers like a couple of times. I've only agreed fully with you like once or twice, but I know you
Did
didn't
I
have
agree fully? Because I added on materials.
but she asked for the most important.
Well, then the most important would be food,
Yeah,
because
so you didn't have to talk
food-
about materials, but the suggestion box, that was my idea.
the suggestion box is
Okay, that's enough of this argument. I believe Tree had a question for you to elaborate on.
Yeah, for both candidates, Techno, I'd like your answer first. You talked about a country. This does end up becoming a country. What would you like the name to be?
Lennar.
Lenarberg.
Respectable, right?
I see.
I would name our town Saint Fernando after Fernando.
Write this down.
Alrighty.
I have a question for Bright.
Yes.
Doesn't a person have to be saint after they die?
For Fernando, he is immortal, so no.
So he can't be a saint.
Why not?
The person just said that.
Saint is a title, and it can be exception. It can have an exception for Fernando.
Also, I can see that you're using Fernando very much to take people's attentions, like Mayo, who owns or like started the Fernando idea as a very important figure in our country. So, are you kind of using Fernando to gain popularity to people that support him?
No, I asked Mayo if it for her permission to use Fernando as the name. I adore Fernando dearly, and that is why he is the face of my campaign.
Okay.
Okay, then moving on to the next question. How will you prevent any party or group of people from being mistreated or abused?
I believe that no matter what the results of the election are and who voted for me, you should be treated equally. That is why I personally will not be looking at any of the votes. Because I think that I should serve you equally no matter who you chose to lead the country.
So you choose not to look at the votes. So, like, you're saying normally we're allowed to look at the votes.
I don't think we ever agreed on something like that, and I
No,
was
but I'm
just
saying you chose not to, meaning that like the default thing to do is look at the votes.
I'm saying generally, I don't know what you plan to do. I don't know what the default would have been because we have not discussed this.
Okay. So for me, I'm gonna answer that question too. Like I said, everybody will be treated equally, and I'll probably not look at the votes, and I will treat everyone equally, of course, because we are a democracy, and everybody will be equal.
I do have a question for you, Techno. In what circumstance would you be looking at the votes?
Yes. Thank you.
Very quickly, let me answer Wild question. As the moderator, I'll be the one counting the votes. Everything is anonymous, and yeah. How will you?
I do believe if I was president after Maya had counted all the votes, I would make sure that she disposed of them as to make sure that no one
So
can
with
access
that,
them in any way.
pardon in a second, but for each vote, you'll be labeling a piece of paper with your name. Each paper, there should only be obviously one vote per person, and everything is anonymous. So yeah, there will be no problems with people cheating, double voting, things of the sort.
And to make sure that Mayo isn't one-sided, which I highly doubt she will be, I suggest that either the two presidents or the two presidents will be there to look at the votes and agree that Mayo was right about the vote. So-
Laud, for your question, as the people, who do you think Maya would be biased towards? And why?
Three people here, you should cheat. Three people here, you don't cheat.
Because I
Yeah.
personally believe that she likes both of us equally, and that she would not risk her job to pull off voter fraud.
And why are you asking that to Wad specifically?
See,
Because
okay.
Watt is the person sitting there.
But there's other people sitting in the audience. It looks like all your questions or everything you've said were kind of directed towards Wad. Is that maybe because Wad is one-sided and has said multiple times that he is voting for you?
No.
Counter
You know
as
you
the
can.
people,
I
as the people, I think that you can trust that Maya is unbiased, and if you have any problems with that, I'm sure we could hire someone else to check and make sure that Maya is doing her job correctly.
I don't think we should hire people. I think the vice presidents should be there to see. Mayo will read the vote out first and give the paper to both vice presidents, and then once they agree that the vote is correct, it will be counted.
I have a question for Techno. What if the vice presidents disagree on the vote?
Then I haven't thought about that.
I personally disagree with the idea of
no.
the vice presidents being there because I do not want any word of mouth making their way to the presidents as to who everyone voted for, and the VPs are the closest person to the president.
But
Alright.
everybody will be voting, and it'll be one-sided, at least a slight bit. So there can never be anything fully equal
I
because we're
nominate
not
the realm
robots.
owner to help Maya.
Okay. First of all, he's right next to me. He's stalking me.
Yo, what up?
Second of all, on the topics of vice presidents, I also have some questions for both Bacon and Morgan, if they would like to elaborate on those. Would that be, are both of which online? I don't, Megan's online, what the shit?
Megan.
Look at your vice president. Is this what you want? She came here unprepared. Oh,
Hey, stop it.
settle
I'm
down.
pretty sure that Megan's going to
Techno, are you discriminating against her just because her computer isn't running properly? Megan, would you like to explain why you're late?
Everybody shut up.
So
I wanted to ask my VP why she hasn't been active. Please
I-
stand on the stand.
I
You're
don't
answering
remember
questions.
leaving the VC. I thought I was there, and I thought everyone just wasn't talking, and I didn't know what was going on. So
Okay, no one cares. Can I ask my question for the VP before I get like 3 more private messages from Nathan saying how bored he is? God damn it.
Definitely.
Okay. So for our vice president, as a vice president, what will you be doing to support the decisions of the president? Starting with Nathan.
Well, first of all, I do plan on boosting the industries and economies so we will have more jobs available. I plan on building many major farms such as the Mob Farm, an iron farm, and automated sugarcane and bamboo farms.
And as of what he has said previously, with his ideas on policies and systems of persecution, what will you be doing to make sure these are properly implicated?
Well, I support every decision he makes. He's a very trustworthy and respectable person. He's very active on the realm, and he has a lot of experience playing Minecraft.
Okay.
So he will make good decisions for the rest of us.
All right. Moving on to Megan. What will you be doing to make sure that the person you are running alongside, Bright, her ideas will be properly implicated among the realm and our commodity?
I plan on contributing to everything, and to make sure, I plan on helping collecting resources. Your mom gay, your dad liking.
All right.
Helping. Working.
Okay then. Would audience like to elaborate on either Bacon or Morgan's answers to these questions? Which one?
The stepmom, obviously.
Okay. Who broke the painting?
Oh.
I didn't know snowballs were paintings.
Okay.
Okay, cool. If there are no, sit your ass down. If there are next question for our vice president would be, do you agree with the terms and policies that your running mate has made? And if you do, and even although you do, if you could make changes, what would they be? All right, we'll start with Megan answering.
What was the question again?
Shut up. Okay, the question, I'll repeat it. Do you agree with the terms and policies that your running mate has, and would you make?
So basically, what I remember is Bright wanted to protect the people through a justice system, and I agree with all of it. We will support everything except anal. You can do anal outside of this community.
Oh my god. Understood.
Okay.
Nathan, would you like to elaborate on this question?
We will supervise every sexual encounter. Make sure you are using protection. We will give you condoms. We will supply. We will give everyone birth control, no matter what gender you identify as. We will make sure. We will prevent the spread of the STDs. Yeah. Number 1 rule: no anal in this community. Do that outside.
Chlamydia.
HLYBIA, I think.
I think that.
Yeah,
Is
that's
it,
about it.
or is it?
Okay. What even is happening?
Okay then, Nathan, would you like
What was even the question?
I don't even know. What are we talking about? Okay.
You agree with the terms?
Shut up. Do you agree with the terms and policies of your running mate? Even if you do, what things would you change?
Well, what I remember from his policies, there will be strict law enforcement, and people of different wealth statuses should be treated differently. And I agree with all of that.
All right, and if you were to change any of this? All right, and if you had to change one thing, this is not something you can simply skip out. Go back to your podium, Nathan. Conrad has a question for you, Nathan.
Are you saying that Techno will run a fascist community?
No, think of it more as capitalism.
Okay.
Everyone
Yeah,
works.
I'm almost done, Bray. Shut up. I have one more question. All right, and this is for both the vice. Okay, I don't care what you guys are saying anymore. I'm not reading it. One last question for both the vice president and president. Will you accept just the general outcome of the election?
Oh, I will defeat that person.
Yes, I will accept the results of the election no matter what they come out as.
All right.
Techno?
All right.
I'll probably accept the results.
All right.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
You scare me.
When did you
Shut the hell up. Okay.
I have a question for Techno.
Can I have my stuff back?
Okay. We're done with the debate. Thank you for coming.
Wait, I got a point to make. I have a point to make.
Down with this, we're all bored. Good night.
I also have questions.
Where's my vote?
We're not voting. Voting Wednesday.
Vote on
Wait, there's no
Wednesday.
questions from the audience.
No, no
Please,
more
please
questions.
go out and vote.
You can ask that privately to me. I'm willing to listen to your questions, fellow citizen.
Sounds like this debate's over. Everybody pack up, go home.
Oh, wait.
Yay.